Welcome guys to another video. Today we will be solving an Olympiad question, and it goes like this. The floor of x multiplied by the ceiling of x is equal to 2022. If you're not familiar with these signs, well, the floor of something such as 1.2 takes it to the nearest integer below it, meaning 1.2 would become 1 and 0.5 will become 0. It doesn't matter what we have after the decimal point. It's just we take it to the nearest integer below it. And the ceiling of something, such as 1.2, well, it raises it. So 1.2 will become 2, and 0.5 will become 1. And that's pretty much it. Now, to get an approximation of the answer, we could forget about the floor and ceiling functions and just do x times x is equal to something close to 22. So let's say approximately, though it's not going to be very approximate. So x squared is approximately 2022. Now, 50 squared is 2,500 and 40 squared is 1,600, meaning it will be between that. And if you try out a couple of values, you'll find that 45 squared is 2025 and 44 squared, well, that's 1936. So x has to be between 44 and 45, because if it's less, well, it's going to be very much less than 2022, and if it's more than 45, it will be above 2022. So if x squared is between 44 and 45, both squared respectively, that means x is greater than 44 and less than 45. Usually when we're dealing with these types of questions, you would do x equal to some number, say alpha, plus a over b, where alpha is just an integer and this is the decimal part. But we already know alpha because we're 44 and above. Well, we're not 44, we're just above 44 by some fraction, meaning x is equal to 44 plus some fraction. And of course here, a will be less than b. So we don't reach 45 and we don't exceed 45. And of course, b is not equal to 0. So I'll rewrite this equation right here. The floor of, well, 44 plus a over b. The ceiling of 44 plus a over b. Well, here we have the ceiling of 44 plus a over b. The ceiling increments our number, meaning it will be 45. It will be 44.3.4. So we can rewrite it as 45 multiplied by 44 plus a over b. Now let's expand this. (44) multiplied by 45 is 1980. I seem to have forgotten the fraction. Alright, I'll erase and rewrite. Here we have 1980 plus 45 times some fraction. 1980 is an integer, so we can take it out without changing it, meaning 1980 plus the floor of 45 times a over b is equal to 2022. We can subtract 1980 on both sides, and we get 42. Now, the least a over b could be, and the most obvious, is just 42 over 45. If a over b is 42 over 45, then these would cancel out and would give us just 42. So now we end up with this equation, and we said that a over b could be 42 over 45, being the simplest. Anything below, such as 41 over 45, would just be too low. Of course, we can extend this even further. And the reason we can extend it is because we have our floor function here. So anything between 42 and 45, and the biggest possible value, works. Except you don't include the last value. The last value produces a 43 even when floored, but we want 42, meaning 42 over 45 and anything in between will give you the right value. This is approximately 0.93, well, repeating, and the other one is 0.95, also repeating. So anything between these, such as 94 or 34444 and so on, will give you 42 when you use the floor function. Okay, so now we have the inequality for a over b. We want the inequality for x. We add 44 on both sides. We get 2023 over 45 and 2022 over 45. And you could sort of see the reason for that. This value is allowed, we'll multiply by 45, you'll get the same answer, but this one is not. So x is in the range and this is our set of answers. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned.